Welcome to Godzilla-THON. Godzilla vs. Mechagodzilla. Yeah, I know this isn't an official version. I got it from Sumo Gorilla. It's out of print, but I still needed a copy, so I'm not ashamed.
The plot centers around some archaeologists, a scientist, his daughter, people descendant from the Azumi royal family from Okinawa, an Interpol agent, and aliens, the spacemen from the third planet, which are really ape men. Planet of the Apes was popular at the time. This film is considered by many to be one of the best Showa films, and it deserves that reputation. It took a more serious route after the overly campified and lazy use of stock footage in the Dark Ages, which is Godzilla's Revenge straight up to Godzilla vs. Megalon. With the exception of Godzilla's Revenge, I like all of those films. But yeah, that's the Dark Ages. And has some surprisingly bloody fights in it. Godzilla bleeds two times in two different battles in this movie. Well, he bleeds more than twice, but that's. I'll get to that. Anyway, the movie starts out with the Azumi people doing a ritual, and the daughter of the village elder has a vision of King Ghidorah destroying Japan, and she's like, a monster will set fire to the city and trample on the people who try to get away. Some archaeologists find this statue. It's of this kaiju god called King Caesar, who the Azumi people worship, and they wind up being pursued by the spacemen from the third planet, the ape aliens. They want to get that statue because they consider King Caesar a threat to Mechagodzilla. And they meet up when they find this piece of metal with another professor, his daughter, and he has a daughter. She becomes important later, but he examines the metal and talks about it's space titanium. And he has this pipe, and when you separate the stem from the cup part and separate them, it creates a magnetic field. That comes in later. There's a prophecy about King Caesar awakening that a black mountain will appear in the sky. The sun will set and rise in the opposite directions. And that comes into play. When the archaeologists are on a plane, they see a cloud that looks like a black mountain, and that's the prophecy that the destroyer monster is going to come. Not long after that, Godzilla busts out of a mountain and starts destroying stuff. And Anguirus shows up. They fight, and you quickly see Anguirus hit Godzilla, and there's metal underneath Godzilla's skin. This is Mechagodzilla. Mechagodzilla breaks Anguirus' jaw. And the main characters are following and watching, and they witness a scene at night where Mechagodzilla is destroying this industrial area, and Godzilla appears out of a building. Godzilla quickly blasts away some of the skin, and the spacemen hit a switch to burn it off, and now it's full Mechagodzilla. Hey, James Cameron, you aren't by any chance a fan, are you? You know, metal endoskeleton covered in skin to look human, metal endoskeleton covered in skin to look like Godzilla. Maybe I'm reaching too high there, but could you have been a fan? I'd love to know. Anyway, they fight. Godzilla gets blasted into the water, and you see blood just oozing out, but you don't see Godzilla. And Mechagodzilla gets severely damaged. The spacemen ultimately kidnap the guy that played Sarazawa, his daughter, and her friend, and holding them hostage to get him to help repair Mechagodzilla. I know it's been brought up as a weird plot. Why would they need his help to repair their robot? My theory, They're villains. They don't need his help. They're just doing this to torture him. And as you see, when he helps them, they try to kill him and the other two anyway. So this is just doing it just for the sheer sake of being sadistic and torturous. Now, the other couple, the archaeologists, they're on a boat heading towards Okinawa, and we see this figure in a trench coat following them around. This guy breaks in their cabin and tries to steal the statue. They get into a fight. He's revealed to be one of the 8 men. And the guy in the trench coat, when the 8 man's about to kill the one, shoots and kills him, and the girl shows up, and it turns out even though he falls into the water with the statue, that was a copy. They still have the real one, and the guy reveals himself to them and says something like, "On a night like tonight, you should think about love." I do find this scene kind of odd because it's in broad daylight and the cruise ship is pretty abandoned. So we got the group of people, the guy being forced to work on Mechagodzilla, he completes it, and surprise, the spacemen try to kill him and the others anyway. The Interpol agent saves him, and it's all coming ahead to Okinawa. Ultimately, the professor, one of the other characters, and the Interpol agent go back to try and take out the spacemen and destroy Mechagodzilla's controls. Why this is going on, some of the others are holding the Izumi family hostage, and when that gets resolved, you see at the same time, because of optical illusions, it looks like the sun is rising and setting in the opposite directions. So they put the statue in, and it reveals where King Caesar is, and you get like a 4-minute song that the princess has to sing to wake him up. King Caesar is a pretty cool looking kaiju. They give him King Kong's roar. He can even reflect Mechagodzilla's eye beams back at him. And what follows is a very good melee fight, even though King Caesar gets his butt kicked. And Godzilla shows up, and this is when it gets in really good. I will comment, when they were on the boat, you see a scene of Godzilla getting struck by lightning. This will come into play in a little bit. Anyway, what follows is arguably the single best fight in the entire Showa era of Godzilla films. And Mechagodzilla is armed to the teeth. Finger missiles, knee missiles, toe missiles, a beam cannon in his chest, eye beams, and he just totally unloads on them. There's this scene where he's unloading everything, and Godzilla and King Caesar are just pushing forward, and then Mechagodzilla flies up, goes after Godzilla, blasts him in the throat. Blood gushes out. He shoots a bunch of his finger missiles in Godzilla's chest, and they get stuck. And then Godzilla, you see some energy build up, and he becomes magnetic. I think it had something to do with the lightning hitting him, or at least that's what's implied. Why this is going on, the people that went back got captured, but the Interpol agent's ring is like a master key, so they escape their binds. And at a certain point, they throw the pipe, take out the spacemen, and run. Once Godzilla pulls Mechagodzilla to him with the magnet, there's a great scene where he's hanging on to him and Mechagodzilla's trying to take off and their feet are just hovering above the ground. Once he gets him down, King Caesar crashes into him a few times, then Godzilla starts twisting the head around and rips his head off. The movie ends. It's kind of ambiguous whether the people get away. You see them running away from the parking lot, but at the end you just see some of the characters with a celebration with the Izumi family. In the film ends. Godzilla vs. Mechagodzilla. Must see, must own. This is one of the crown jewels of the franchise. Well, don't forget to like, share, comment, subscribe. You can feel free to dislike too. And stay tuned next time for the final Showa film, The Terror of Mechagodzilla, and I'm going to finish my spotlights tomorrow, so I will have my long overdue spotlight on Ashiro Honda before I post a review for Godzilla Terror of Mechagodzilla. This way I can finish the Showa era up. After that, I may do a brief retrospective on the Showa era. Then, Godzilla 1984, my favorite. I'm actually going to review both the Japanese and American version. So, till next time, bye.